Oh, we're on?
Rolling.
Is it on?
It's on.
Is it on? So this is where we're going to do the TikTok? We're going to TikTok. Are you guys ready for the TikTok? Because we're going to do the TikTok.
I see my friends, the kids, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with her? TikTok.
I'm doing
Tic
a
Tac.
TikTok.
Give her a goddamn Tic Tac. Make her stop that TikTok.
TikTok.
All right, tell me what you know, tell me what you think, and then we'll tell you what we want it to be.
I mean, what do you mean what I know? What I know is this is the strangest shit ever. So, the numbers don't make any sense for any of it. The numbers don't make any sense. I know people, you guys are going to be like, holy shit, New York City had 3,000 people die over this. How many people die a day in New York City? One of the things I was thinking about was...
Look up how many women die every year in the United States giving birth.
And it's actually a really good number now versus the way it used to be. You used to have 2 or 3 wives.
Auto accidents. Auto accidents involving texting. Look that one up.
Yeah, there's a lot. The one thing that I noticed that everybody keeps saying, so everybody keeps saying this over and over and over again, which is driving me crazy because it doesn't make any sense. They keep going, well, the model suggests. We're using this model. We're using that model. The model suggests. The model suggests. They're using computer models to simulate this thing, but the problem is if you put junk information in the front, then that computer model is going to give you junk information at the other end. The computers aren't really thinking. They're just using your information to turn it into something bigger. So I don't get what they're doing here by keep talking about all these models. You know, even Trump, when they came out and said 240,000 people or 240,000 people are going to die from this, or could possibly die. That would have been worst case scenario. That's their prediction, worst case scenario. But what's his name? Fauci. Fauci's like, yeah, that's too much. That's not how many people are really going to die from this. I don't know.
But now Fauci's like the opposite. It's flip flopped.
It's because I think it's because we keep using these computer models. They put in worst case scenarios. So, for example, all these worst case scenarios are based off a population of 1 million people, and it's how many people will die in that population of 1 million people. And the reason why they're doing that is because of New York City. But the problem with using New York City numbers against, say, I don't know, even Los Angeles, even comparing New York City to Los Angeles is population density. Los Angeles has just as many people, but they're spread out further, where New York City has population density where people are stacked on top of each other, and that's why they have a higher rate than everywhere else in the country right now.
8 million swells to 18 million during the day.
Yeah, during the day. But I mean, that's the reason why they have a higher rate, is because of population density. They have all these people crammed into fucking little tiny spaces, and of course people are going to get sick. Now, we're actually very lucky from that standpoint that it does not happen a lot more, and it is not worse than it actually is because of proximity of people.
We have a friend that his woman works at a really big hospital in Nashville area, really big one. On Tuesday, they started using the chloroquine, dosing their patients. Last night, I heard from them they only have 5 patients with COVID in their wing. I don't know if that was just her unit or the entire hospital there or what the deal is, but the numbers have just fucking declined within the hospital. Spirko talks about hospitals, and you're hearing that there's still all this stuff going on in Washington State and stuff. Jack's getting videos from places in Washington, guys walking into hospitals and shit, and they're just fucking ghost towns. The check lanes, there's a dude in a fucking full bubble suit, and he's just sitting there like looking at a magazine because nobody's fucking coming through the lines. I don't know. Is this real? Sure, it's real. But what is all this about? It's not about that.
Yeah, I mean, once again, if you look at the numbers, we're kind of close right now. So if you take a look at just influenza, so New York State lost 4,390. I think it was 392 people last year to influenza. So they're on par to catch up with influenza, but
only there.
Why does it rate the national emergency that we have turned this into? Because here's the thing: how many deaths will they attribute to the economy that just imploded. So more people are now at risk. More people are now at risk
Committing suicide.
than, yeah. I mean,
That's
suicide
what
rate's probably going to go
Trump
through the
even said
roof.
himself.
But more people are now at risk because we destroyed the economy than if we kind of would have let this thing take its course. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
I just saw a meme, and they're rushing a patient on a gurney, and there's a nurse, and there's somebody, a police officer, maybe nurse, and then the doctor, right? And they're like, "What happened?" And they're rushing them in. It's an auto accident. A whole herd of deer ran through the car and trampled him to death. And then the doctor's like, "Okay, so COVID-19."
Yeah.
So
I mean, the numbers just don't. The numbers aren't bearing themselves out to the extent of the destruction that we just did to the economy. You're talking about more people out of work right now, which is it's weird, but more people out of work right now than were out of work during the Great Depression. Obviously, we have a higher population now than we did then. So when we're using numbers, we can skew the numbers however we want. So, for example, there's a chart that everybody's putting out. There's a chart that they keep putting out where they're like, the United States has the most confirmed COVID cases in the world. And then you see all these other countries where the numbers are down here, down here, down here. That is solely based off the fact that we've tested more people, and it's not based off of population. When you actually take population in consideration, the United States is at the very bottom of the list. Switzerland actually has the most fucking cases of COVID when you're talking about actual populations.
It puts it in perspective when you see Italy,
Yeah.
the country of Italy,
Yeah, like
in the state of the United States,
Like in a little
and our
spot.
numbers
Yeah.
are on par. So
Yeah.
wow, but Italy's percentage is way fucking higher.
yeah. I mean, the thing about Italy and Spain that most people, first off, will not take into consideration when you're talking. You have to understand that, first off, Italy and Spain do not have the same medical infrastructure that the United States has. Second, they are much more, how would you say that? They are a much tighter community in those countries where it's not a big deal for you to have 3 generations of people living in the same household. So, yes, in that scenario, it is more likely that grandma is going to get fucking COVID and end up in the hospital.
And die.
And that's why they're having those problems. And die. Grandma might live in the United States. In both of those countries, they are making ventilator decisions because they do not have enough medical infrastructure in either one of those countries to support this. Where
I believe with
here they might survive.
I believe with the malaria drug now, if they dose them prior to getting to that point, it keeps them off the ventilator and repairs them before the massive lung damage is done. But they have to use the drug. You have a doctor in New York right now, Hasidic Jew, has treated over 600 some patients with the chloroquine, the Z-Pak, and zinc. And he said the dosage regimen, the treatment per patient is $25. Not $25 a day, $25 to heal the victim, the patient. And he has treated over 600 with 100% success rate. There's not like one dude didn't recover, one guy had to go on a respirator. 100%. And he's been screaming this for fucking 6 weeks now. Spirko's theory is when the supply is dry, lie. Well, we're not sure this works. We don't know if it works. Well, now all of a sudden they have the dosages. Bayer spun up, made $1.5 million in 30 days. 4 other companies have made millions. Now they're even running bigger dosage. They're even more than $1.5 million now. Now that the drug is out there, it seems to have handled the majority of this. But what is the lockdown about? And now they're talking masks. I don't have a problem with the idea of the mask. When you put a mask on, the mask is not to protect you. It's to protect me from you. If we all wear masks, when I'm animated and active and I'm spitting and I'm loud, that's why I hate loud motherfuckers. Because if you're loud, your spit is coming out of your fucking, it's all over my food if you're next to me. That keeps that's a shield for that. That keeps that from happening. But Jeff's theory, what'd you say? Why are we wearing masks?
I forgot. There's so much shit going on. Well, I mean, to get you really think about this. So, DOD came out yesterday, or yesterday or the day before, and they said all DoD personnel have to wear masks, right? And we don't care what the mask is. If you want to cut up a t-shirt, put it over your face, that's good. Well, what they're doing now is getting everybody used to the fact that you are masked up. Why? Why are they doing that? Why are we getting to a point where because first off, if you tell me, hey, just cut up a t-shirt and use it as a mask, you'll be fine. If that's the DoD directive, then it can't be about protection. Because if you've seen military t-shirts, you can see through them. It can't be about protection. So it's just interesting, all the things. Now, in saying that, I'm not on the same conspiracy train that John is. I feel like my reality in my world is the government is completely inept, and they can barely tie their own shoes, let alone come up with some giant conspiracy to rule the world. Will legislators take advantage of this situation and throw in their little pet things? Of course they will. No different than the Democrats providing money so they could have that money transferred into the Democratic presidential fund. Of course they will. They'll do whatever they can. It's like everybody, all these Democrats are screaming, Trump's a Nazi, Trump's a Nazi, Trump's a Nazi, Trump's a Nazi. Trump, why haven't you taken over everybody's all the corporations and forced them to make, well, that's because that's what Nazis do, right? That's not part of the Constitution. Trump's more American than any of those motherfuckers Trump's more American than any of those motherfuckers in Congress have ever tried to be. Funny, I'm going to relay this story just because I love it. I love this story.
Tell them.
I love this story. So when this thing kicked off, now this is a. Anyways,
You can kind of tell them what they do.
this is
You
a
don't have to
VP.
tell them
This
who it
is a company that makes. This is a company that makes tier 1 asset equipment. So fucking night vision devices, fucking whatever, helicopter, fiberglass helicopters, every HK weapon system that's in the United States right now. No, they're not made down in where is it, Georgia, where you think they are. All they do is put them in boxes there. Virginia. Anyways, this company, they make a system. Well, you can figure out what it is just by telling you this. They make this thing called the Patriot. And the Patriot is a system that allows first responders to go into gas environments for extended period of time.
They did something way cooler than that.
Yeah, they did a lot way cooler shit than that. But anyways, so this is Patriot system. Trump knew about the Patriot system. I don't know why Trump would know about that. But anyways.
Because of the airplane. Trump knew they made the airplane work.
Oh, you know what? That's exactly why. Anyways, so Trump knew about this Patriot system, and he called this corporation and said, hey, guys, you make this Patriot system. Do you think you could make ventilators? The company's like,
Roger that.
yeah, of course we could make ventilators. So, once again, no press, no fucking cameramen, no news crews, nothing. Trump's like, I want to come up and I want to talk to you guys. And they're like, come on up. So he comes up, he's like, I'm going to be there during lunchtime, so we need to have lunch. They're like, we will get you whatever you want. You're the President of the United States. What does Trump ask for?
Karcher.
Fucking McDonald's. Trump wants McDonald's. Look it, you can say whatever the fuck you want about his little fast food habit, but the reality is there's not much more American than fast food. That is America. So he gets his McDonald's, right? And proud. He gets his McDonald's. They eat. They talk. They want to make these ventilators. They're like, hey, we want 750,000 of these ventilators from your company. Really? We want from your company, and they're like, we can do 5,000 a month. We're gonna get cracking on it. So the owner of the company is like, hey, I'd like to bring in my VPs to meet you. You know, everybody wants to kiss the baby, shake the hand, and all that stuff because it's the fucking president. Trump says to him, he goes, you know, no offense to your VPs or whatever, but I don't really want to do that. What I would really like to do is go down on the line and meet the people who are making this fucking equipment for us. So they took him down on the line to meet the people who... What's more fucking presidential than actually recognizing the people who are doing the work? I mean, I don't know. You can say what you want about him. I know he says crude shit, but if you really think about America, like America,
Crude compared to who?
Trump is about as America as you can get. I mean, he is about as American as you can get. The Democrats want him to fucking take War Powers Act. They want him to use the War Powers Act to take over companies. What does President Trump say? That's not really within my constitutional powers. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to ask these companies to do it. And these companies are actually doing it.
And why? And he also said, why make a company do this that it's not in their realm of capability? Why don't we just get some dude? We have plenty of people coming to us going, we can already do this. We're ready to do this. Why make somebody else do something?
And the other thing too that you should really pay attention. You should really, if you are a Democrat, which I highly doubt you're a Democrat watching us spew. If you're a Democrat, you really should do some soul searching and look at what the Democratic Party is doing right now. Look at what they are doing. Just pretend that the President of the United States is John F. Kennedy and it's not Trump. Look at what the Democratic Party is doing right now. They're doing two things. They're only doing two things. They are trying to figure out how to take the president out during a national emergency. So during a national emergency, the Democratic Party is spending more time trying to figure out how to take the president out than to help their constituents, and they are trying to figure out how to line their pockets. They are trying to figure out how to line their pockets. That's all those are the only two things Democrats are doing right now. Lining their pockets and trying to take out the president during a national emergency. The Marine Corps should go to Washington, D.C., and they should arrest every fucking Democratic Party member and hold them in quarantine until this is all over, and then let them out. Because they are not doing a fucking thing for any of their constituents. None of them.
Is it only Republican senators that have COVID, or did some of the Democrats get it?
Oh man, did any Democrats get it? I don't know. I don't think.
And
I mean,
how is
I'm sure.
Ron Paul?
Yeah, how is Ron? I don't know how. I haven't heard anything from Ron Paul. I haven't heard anything.
Because that would be kind of weird if only Republicans got that.
It would be kind of weird if only Republicans got it, but yeah. So I mean, that's
So there's a dude named David Icke.
David Icke. Yeah.
Super conspiracy dude. A lot of the stuff that I have regurgitated over the years and the rabbit holes I've gone down are from watching this man. And he is out there. But no matter how far fucking out there he is, there's always truth in almost fucking everything he says. And you can go back and watch videos when I talk about Agenda 21 stuff, and I'm like, everybody called him crazy and tinfoil hat, all the Agenda 21 dudes. But when you look at videos of Agenda 21 being talked about 10 years ago, every fucking piece of that happened. And a lot of it came from this guy. So this dude he's on all these shows, right? All these conspiracy shows and stuff. But he was just on a show that's not a crazy conspiracy show. It's called London Real. It's business development, business accelerator. They do stuff with Dan Pena. All of your motivational dudes that we talk about and listen to and watch, right? We know some of those dudes here and there. He had him on, and it fucking was his highest ranked show. So he was about to have him on again, and he's like, we just got this basically a cease and desist prior to the show going on from London, or from the government, basically saying you cannot talk about COVID-19, you cannot talk about 5G, you cannot talk about these other things that are about to happen. All hold. So he goes live, he's like, fuck it, we're going to do this anyways. I'm an American, First Amendment. Well, you're not in America. I don't know if fucking Scotland, wherever they are.
Actually, you don't have a First Amendment right in England or Scotland.
So, they do this show. It goes without a hitch. It's on. I watch it live. Pierre is watching it live. I'm sending the link to multiple people. The show ends. About 15 minutes, I get like 10 fucking PMs from dudes going, hey, they pulled that video. I'm like, bullshit. I went and clicked on it. It's been pulled, violates community guidelines, blah, blah, blah. So you go to his website to look at it. It's not there. For some time, his website was not even there. It even looked like his website was fucking gone. It's because of the massive traffic. It was the second highest volume watched live feed show on YouTube to date ever, and YouTube pulled it. It's down. So they're trying to repost it. They're looking for some other hosting to put this back up. He said some crazy shit. But what this started with was the London Real dude, and he's saying, on the way to work this morning, I was on a bullet train or whatever. I was the sole person on the fucking train. As I'm walking through the streets of London, there's nobody fucking out there. It's a fucking ghost town. He goes, but you have huge, after the fact, huge military presence. He's like, why would we have so much military presence? Who are they keeping from coming out? Everybody was already self-quarantined. He goes, it doesn't make any sense. And what Ike said, he goes, is because they're trying to get you used to the military presence, because that's the Hunger Games society that they are creating, and that's where this is going. Just look into it. Don't take anything I'm saying, and if nothing else, even if you know this to not be true, just watch it as some entertainment and just listen to what he's saying. Because I used to watch this dude thinking he was fucking insane, and some of the shit he said was insane. But when you find his videos from 10 years ago and you watch them, it all fucking happened, every fucking piece of it. It's like they followed what he said was going to happen. But about a year and a half, 18 months ago, a year ago, they pulled all of that shit off of YouTube. It is actually very hard. It will take you hours to find any of the content. If you search Agenda 21 now on YouTube, you will find a lot of content. It's almost all women. They all look to be like Middle Eastern descent. They're professors in colleges, and they have a very different view than he had on Agenda 21. So find some of his stuff. If you really want to watch it, a lot of his videos that were taken off of YouTube are on the Gaia network. Gaia is kind of like an alternative YouTube where they let you say whatever the fuck you want with no community guidelines. I think you have to pay to watch it. I think it's like $3 a month. It would be worth it just to fucking subscribe for a month or two and just watch some of the content. But London Real, you can see some of the videos of him talking, but the main video where Ike was on, it's dead, it's gone. They're trying to get it rehosted. Don't take my word for it. Just go fucking watch it and see if what he's saying makes sense. I was hoping Jeff would watch it. Jeff didn't watch it fast enough.
No, I
didn't get to see it.
I got work to do. I got time for conspiracy videos, crazy shit like
So
that.
Spirko's like,
I hope, you know what, I really hope that I really hope that 100% of the, I feel like I want this to be over and Alex Jones jump out and be like, ha-ha, I told you.
you know what I hope it is?
Aha!
You know what I hope it is?
The lizard people, right? That's what I'm hoping for. I feel like
I don't know about this. I hope, but what I hope it is, I hope Trump's taking down all the fucking Podesto child molester shit, because that's the hugest conspiracy theory out there, and it's not hard to find it. But that's the thing. But my question to these dudes that are always sending me these links are, why do they have us locked up? Keeps us out of the way. Keeps us out of the way. Keeps us out of the way. Lock them down. Lock the city down. That way, if everybody's locked down, it's harder for the guys they're chasing to hide. And they're saying there's underground tunnels and everything's connected, and there's smoke coming out of manhole covers in California and Italy and all over the place, and they're blowing up these fucking underground super train stations and maglev shit, all kinds of just fucking crazy shit, right? Until you see the videos of all the smoke coming out of the ground and all the earthquakes going on and all the shit happening right now. Maybe that's happening. There's a lot of stuff going around right now about the hospital ships. The hospital ships never were for COVID patients. Trump said he put the hospital ships there to handle real trauma so that people with real trauma didn't have to go to the hospitals that were being overtaxed by the COVID, and they wouldn't get exposed to it. There's a lot of footage going around of what looks to be children on those hospital ships. Now, if you remember, there were some press conferences where Trump said, we have recovered 25,000 U.S. citizens. What do you mean we recovered? If you have 25,000 U.S. citizens that willingly traveled outside of the United States, well then that's your fucking problem. Stay there unless you're a U.S. asset.
Recovery actually sounds like they sent somebody over to get him.
That's what it is. That's what the word is. And what he's talking about, and if you watch, you can find, he went on for about 5 minutes about how we recovered this girl and she was being horribly mistreated, and I'm not going to go into what they were doing to her. They just treated her very, very bad. She was in a cage. What does that fucking sound like? And that's what they're saying. And it's the harvest of the adrenochrome. Do you know the Wuhan laboratory has the patent and actually manufactures adrenochrome? I didn't know that was a real thing. Fucking, I'm pretty sure I heard Trump say that too. So look into that shit. That's what and we're about to be freer than we ever have, and we're about to have a fucking better society because we're taking all these people down. Along with that are all the elites. Where's the fucking queen right now? Where is her fucking son? Where is Hillary Clinton? Where is Hillary Clinton right now? Where are all her fucking cronies? All of the Epstein people, all the Epstein Island. What's going on in Epstein Island? Is Epstein Island the tennis court? Is that really a tennis court? Or is that a tarp they have spread out to look like? There's some crazy shit out there, and when you start looking at it, you're like, what the fuck? But then when you look at it, that's what it fucking looks like. So let's hope that's what I hope it is.
Let's not forget. I mean, once again, I don't travel down the same conspiracy roads John does, but an interesting thing just recently happened.
Hold on. I'm not looking for that shit. I have a fucking huge influx of people sending that to me, almost to like, are you guys setting me up? Like, is this real? Their conspiracy is let's fucking keep John so busy he doesn't fucking run his business, and they just fucking fail.
But just think about this.
But that does make me closer to Howard Hughes.
It does. You gotta wash. Oh, he washed his hands all the time.
I've been washing the shit out of it and saving my toenails.
You got to do that for prosperity. But
because you can put them in lemon juice and they soften up. And you can drink.
Yeah. That's the way you got to do it.
And
this is not a conspiracy. So think about what John just said. He just went down the whole Epstein rabbit hole to everybody in government is a pedophile.
I didn't go as far as lizard people.
Yeah. I'm hoping lizard people, because that's the only thing that would make sense.
You remember how all through history, right? All medieval history, there are dragons.
Uh-huh.
They're not actually dragons, they are lizard people.
Lizard people.
And I didn't know about the lizard people. If you are interested, I have a series of 3 videos that will explain, it'll tie all this together, and why the adrenochrome and Hillary Clinton is a clone. And the clones, they have to have the adrenochrome. The synthetic adrenochrome is not as good. They can't have the real shit after 2017 because they started disabling all the child fucking kiddie porn and human trafficking and stuff. So now they have to have the synthetic, and the synthetic's not as good. I have a series of 3 videos if you want to watch. If nothing else, they are very entertaining.
Yeah, but I mean, so real thing.
It's all real, Jeff.
But I mean, think about this. Once again, John, he's got all these fucking rabbit holes. But the Vatican really was raided.
Yes.
The military,
hold on. 600 people were arrested at the Vatican. They said 6 had COVID-19. Now they are saying fucking over 3/4 of those people are dead or on ventilators. Now, what this series of 3 videos said was they invented COVID-19. They released COVID-19 in the adrenochrome. So people taking the synthetic adrenochrome would actually get this virus, and they would have some antibody to it, so they could not deny that they had been using the adrenochrome. And then it spread to fucking, it got loose.
Oh. But anyway, so the Vatican was actually raided. They did arrest people, which is really interesting because...
Where are they?
The Vatican is a sovereign country, so...
Italy said, fuck your cash.
Yeah, the Vatican is a sovereign country, and they have their own army. So it's interesting that the Spanish military showed up, and the guys with those fucking lances and those big puffy pants weren't like, get back, get back!
How about did you read the thing I sent you about the Pope?
Yeah, trying to take over the
Pope took something in his own name instead of the name of the church, which fulfills the prophecy of something, which is the coming of the Antichrist. It's in the Bible. I'm not a huge Bible follower, but
this Pope is a weirdo because he's a Jesuit, and Jesuits, they're a little bit different than the rest of them.
Okay, so what's the real?
The PM of the Prime Minister of England is
on a respirator.
Which is very interesting because you know that no establishment people like him because he's just like Trump. He went in there and he wrecked a bunch of shit. He's like, fuck the European Union.
Brexit.
He made it happen, but nobody likes him. And it's interesting that he was evacuated to the hospital and in less than 6 hours jammed with a respirator. I believe that there's probably a Russian, I think this is what I think. I think it's a Mongolian Russian being used as a proxy for British intelligence, and he's going around with a little sprayer and spraying everybody with COVID.
Where did the Mongolian thing come from?
Because he's got to be way in the steppes of Russia so that people don't know who he is.
I would like to be part Mongolian. Then I could shoot bow off horseback really well.
Really well.
Mongols.
Yeah. You know, they tenderize their meat underneath their saddle.
Well, that was to pad their ass.
Well, no, they put it under there so it'd be tender when they stop. They could
raw
just fucking
meat.
eat that. Yeah.
They also ate horses, their own
Yeah.
horses.
They could eat horses.
So, man, I had something good to say too.
Oh shit. Lizard people.
I don't know.
And don't get
Dragons. There's two kinds of. The Vril is one of them. Vril. And that's what's in the tunnels. That's where Hitler actually went there for 2 months looking for the Vril, because it said that they have the third eye thing, which we actually have, the pineal gland, but you can't see. Somebody sent me a message last night. So if I drink lemon juice and baking soda for 30 days,
you would be able to
I'll
see.
be able to see.
Through your third eye?
I'll raise to a higher level.
What would you see?
I
through
would
your
think
third
that
eye?
I would probably fart a lot.
Maybe. What would you see through your third eye?
You can
People behind
no,
you?
it allows you to see who truly are the lizards. Like
Oh,
putting the glasses
like
on and
putting
we
the glasses
live,
on?
they live.
Okay.
Because
Alright.
what they say is that they actually take over. They like in the vampire movie. They actually take this thing out. They take this little shit out of their eye and put it in your eye, and then they can actually pass all of their memories and everything into you, and they take over your body. And your body, you get really sick for a couple of weeks, and then you're controlled by them. And that's what this place was. That's what these guys were saying was Hillary Clinton is one of them, and all this other shit. And they need the adrenochrome. And it has something to do with Satanism, but Satanism really, Satan and Lucifer are really like the beginning. They're really nothing. There's something above them and something above them, and then the one above at the very top is artificial intelligence. It was some chick that became AI somehow, and that's who started the whole Egyptian.
So you mentioned blood transfusions, blood transfusions from young kids. So there was this whole extended life thing where people were talking about, all these different ways to fucking stay healthy and extend your life.
Blood bath.
And one of the things was this blood transfusion that people were doing. And the thought behind it was the younger the person was that gave you the blood, the more invigorated you would be. And a lot of people started doing this. A lot of people were doing this. There was enough people doing it that the FDA came out and said, hey man, you guys need to stop that. Knock that shit off. It doesn't really do anything.